Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to Happy Holiday Story Time. When I was 16 years old, I used to surf at St. Augustine, Florida all the time. And one day I was coming back over the Bridge of Lions, and the fort is right there on the right. So I'd never taken a tour, and I went in, and I got to see Geronimo's jail cell. Now this thing was terrible. I mean, this is horrible. You go in it, and if I was to sit up right where you go in, I couldn't even sit up on my knees. It went down like a ramp all the way to the back wall. By the time you get to the back wall, you're looking about a foot and a half from the floor to the ceiling. So I'm like, what the blankety blank? So I would always, like every other kid, yell, Geronimo, jumping off stuff. I really didn't know nothing about it. Not the real true story. So I started studying and learning about it and finding where it was documented and everything. There's a couple cool things here. General Crook could never catch him, okay? So he went ahead and resigned later on. There was another guy named General Miles that replaced him, and they called him the Lie of Promises, you know. And anyway, Crook, there was a guy named Gatewood, Lieutenant Gatewood. He got to be friends with Geronimo. He had been through the whole campaign. And so anyway, he brought him in, he talked to Crook, and Crook was real rude to him. He was talking down to him, just real cruel and everything. So what was said, Geronimo, this was written, all he said. He said, "The white eye came and wanted the land of my people. When their soldiers burned our villages, we moved to the mountains. When they took our food, we ate thorns. Why is there no land for the Apache? Why does white eye want all the land? When they killed our children, we had more. We killed all the white eye we could. We starved and we killed, but in our hearts, we never surrendered." He did surrender on September the 4th, 1886, at Skeleton, I think it was, Canyon in Arizona, after fighting for a little over 30 years. That's crazy, man. Just to get his home, some of his homeland back. Never lived on a reservation. What the heck, man? And what Miles had promised him and told Gatewood to tell him so he would come in is he would go to Florida for 2 years with his family. They would be there. When they got back, done their 2 years, they get 40 acres and 2 mules, which obviously never happened because I think he lived the rest of his life out in Fort Sill, Oklahoma. And what he used to do is he would sell the buttons off his shirt and he'd sell arrows. I imagine probably, I know the buttons, but I'm thinking probably arrows, and I'll tell you the reason why. Arrows and probably autographs, and maybe he had a bunch of pictures taken and signed them, because when he died in 1909, he had over $10,000 in his bank account. That's crazy. Let me ask you, how much is that today? I don't know, but I'm thinking a lot more than, what 10,000 would be today. And how he died was I guess he left Fort Sill because they let him, they let him do what he wanted pretty much because, I mean, what the heck? He was a superstar. And when he died, he fell in a puddle coming back drunk from whiskey, and he laid in it all night, and they found him, took him to the hospital, he died of pneumonia. Now, Roosevelt, he had met because he was in the Wild West show. Wild Bill Cody, I believe it was. And he was in a Wild West show in the 1900s, and he was a rock star, too, basically. And Roosevelt, Teddy wouldn't give him a pardon, wouldn't let him go back home to Arizona. That's all he ever wanted to do, back to his land. That's sick, man. Sick. I ain't going to say who's the bonehead in this one, the white eye first, or I think so. Anywho, that's the story. Hope you like story time. Y'all have a great weekend, what's left. Boom!